Welcome to Say More episode 4 with Trey, Sinferna, and Ubaru. How are we all doing today, guys?
Good.
Yeah?
Useful.
Okay, so you know how I was saying right before the recording I needed to bring up something?
Yes.
I need to bring up how obnoxious the new Rune pouch load out thing is. Am I the only one that thinks this is like the dumbest update of all time? If you're
Hold on, wait, what did they change?
Okay, so go into your bank and click on your Rune pouch, and then click on it, and you know how there was normally like 4 loadouts you could choose from? Now look at it.
Yeah, okay.
What happened?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Have you guys not even seen this? So you can like rename them, but you can't even manually rename them. You have to like choose from a list of things. Like who is
what?
Who has a
you
different?
Can't rename these.
They literally misspelled Chaos Fanatic, like the easiest thing. And it's just like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, we don't have unlimited loadouts, and there's no reason to have individual bosses. It's a rune pouch setup. It's like thralls or lunars or something, you know, it's like, it has nothing to do with the bosses themselves. You know what I mean? It's just bizarre.
I can't
Oh my
lie,
god, that's such a big typo. How did they miss that?
Yeah, the mistype
They said they had to cold
crazy.
fix it. They're like, yeah, we're aware, we fucked up. But I'm like, just look how bad this is. You can only see 2. You used to be able to see 4. Of course, there was only 4, so it's nice having more than that. But like, okay, you can only see 2.5 of them. Anyway, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. I'm just gonna pull it up on my end because I just need to
Link it.
I'm just gonna link it. Yeah, I'll link it to you guys.
Yeah,
it actually
I like that
It got some
tweet.
good upvotes. It got some likes. It got 300 plus. So I'm proud. I'm proud of it. Let me show it on my end
Yeah,
now.
actually suggesting
Yeah.
something the community really needs and not a list of things where they can't even type in their own things that they need. But
I'm
like the UI just looks so much better than the one you proposed. Like,
Yeah,
100
and that
times.
was fucking made on GIMP in like 2 seconds. Like I just copied and pasted them, like, and it still looks better.
Yeah.
But straight up, I think the 3x3. We don't need names for them. I'm sorry. And if you really did, I just said in the thing, like, just let RuneLite handle it. You know what I mean? Like if you desperately need a name for what the runes are, you haven't memorized it like an autistic RuneScape player like we all are. Like you just come on. And hear me out. If it's a 3x3 grid, your muscle memory will start being implemented because you'll just recognize like, oh, this is my thrall one, and my thralls have always been on this corner, so I'm just gonna click that corner like without even thinking about it. You know what I mean?
I looked at it once. I was excited for the update because there's always. I feel like I've always needed like 6, and I would be good. And so they updated it, and I saw the backlash, and I was like, I'm not even gonna look at this, and it's gonna change.
So bad. It's so bad. Like who decided this? The thing I'm really worried about is they're only gonna make it so you can custom name change them, and then they're gonna keep everything else, and then we're gonna be like, okay, well that's it. I hate the fact that you have to scroll. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, you have enough
that's a
space.
bummer. I think it was like a good idea in theory, but like this is like a perfect example of like you can't just pass everything because like everything needs to be refined, you know?
Yeah.
It's like yeah, like a little bit of revision is good, especially when it's like I feel like it's not that much to do something like that. But then again, the game is spaghetti code sometimes. It could just like explode your whole client and freeze it or something. Like I don't know. So yeah, hopefully they figure it out. Have you seen the fairy ring change yet? It's a little bit disorienting
It
too.
is very
with how fast
it was almost making me nauseous a little bit. I was like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's like you're playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah, Sin. I already know Sin hasn't seen it. Sin, go to your POH right now. Go to your fairy ring and just like start clicking around that little scroll wheel, and then come back here. You need to see it.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Okay,
It's
oh
crazy,
gosh,
bro.
oh gosh.
This is gonna be bad. It actually is like mildly headache inducing. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here? But I actually like it. I like it because I know I'm gonna get used to it. It's something you can get used to, I think. But your brain is so calibrated to go slow-mo. It's just, whoa, what's happening?
Like
Wait, what did they
brain knows-
change?
Just click on the dials of the fairy ring.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay,
the
okay.
speed of it. It's like very
What?
jarring. Yeah.
What the hell is this? Why is it so fast?
They just tried to speed it up. I don't know.
Bro, my brain can't keep up with it.
It's aggressive. It's like very aggressive. You know what's crazy though is like we've seen changes like this that feel very jarring. At least I have over the years, and then you get used to it to the point where when you watch an old YouTube video of like somebody playing the old way, it's like bizarre. Like, do you remember when divine potions came out and they look like miniature? just so they could get all the sparkles.
Yes.
And then they just
Yes.
like I remember that looking normal, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are these?" I didn't actually mind them personally, but then they changed it. And then when you look back at I have like a bunch of old videos that have like the classic divine pots, and they're all miniature. I'm like, "Oh, these are so cute. I miss these." Yeah, but we'll get used to it, I guess.
We will. We always do, man. Everyone just complains about stuff for like first week or two, and then
Yeah. I can't lie though. The complaint I have about the rune pouch thing, like that's a genuine complaint. This looks
No,
it's
that's
so
valid.
bad. It's so
It's valid.
bad.
It's valid.
I don't
Very
want to get
valid.
used to this. I'm very excited for this episode. We got a few topics that I want to kind of jump into. And so, you know what? Actually, let's just jump into the first one. I think this is a really good one. And then we can kind of, I don't know, just go back and forth with what we think. So what's been your favorite era of RuneScape? So like OG RuneScape, like classic, RS2, pre-EOC, RS3, even OSRS. And if you're choosing OSRS as your favorite era, what year in particular?
I think overall my favorite has been pre-EOC. So like 2011-ish, like right before
Ooh.
EOC came out. I'm not like I've been trying to think of why that is. And I think the main thing is like I said this last podcast too, that nostalgia is a very, very powerful thing. So I don't know, maybe if I'm just like associating like a simpler, like kind of maybe happier time of my life um with it. Maybe that's why I think it's my favorite. Um because I was like in high school back then. Um but like in terms of what the game actually used to be like, I don't know, it was just I think that was the time when we started getting a lot of power creep, and the game started changing, like, a lot compared to how it had been just even a few years prior, and all these, like, new updates, all this new armor, like, you guys remember, like, when, like, Ganodermic armor came out and, like what else? Storm of Armadil, like, I remember that was, like, such a big thing, and I don't know, like, I think like that era was just like all those new updates coming out made me feel like I was almost like experiencing the game over like over again, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
yeah, just because there's so much like explore and stuff. And so many new ways to like play the game. And dungeoneering, I was like obsessed with dungeoneering and I stay true to wanting dungeoneering in old school as well. I would love if that happened. I know it probably never happened, and CG is like our dungeoneering lame. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just love that era. I love that era so much. But maybe I just also love being in high school as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was kind of the struggle I had with this question of like, is it taking me back to where I was in life at that point? Because yeah, I mean, obviously being a little kid and just I was homeschooled, so I did all my school in like 4 hours, and then just tried to hide from my mom while I played RuneScape and didn't get caught on the computer
Hell
the
yeah.
rest of the day. Like yeah, if that's how we're framing it, then of course, yeah, the original 2007. But if it's just like how the game feels and everything, I continue to be one of these people that feels like a very small minority of people who loves the direction the game is going right now, and I think this year is the best the game's ever been. And yeah, I don't know. This is currently my favorite era. It's the era where it feels like we're, you know, it's an overall win. We have these things like the rune pouch, and every update has the little turd in the punch bowl. It feels like nothing has been perfect, but stuff like Varlamore and all of that, that's just been banger after banger to the point where it's hard to even keep up with. But and personally, far as favorite era goes, me being the cynical side of me is, yeah, I want to say October 2025, just before sailing, because that is such a question mark, So
Mm.
I support everything they're doing. I'm just very nervous about that. So yeah, that's where I would put my favorite era is just, yeah, right now. I really, I don't know. I think they're going in the right direction. And they just need to clean up, well, probably about 10,000 small things, but nothing perfect.
Something light,
Yeah.
No, that's so true though. Like I think if you were to ask me this question in another 10 years, I'll probably say like, "Oh yeah, old school RuneScape era, like oh, like 2025 was the best." Like it's like ever changing.
Yeah, and if it was like, what's my favorite day in old school RuneScape? It was definitely the day it came out and we were first running around. I was like, oh my god, my character, like everything looks like it used to, and like
Yeah.
that feeling was unmatched. And that, yeah. So if that counts as an era, what year was that it came out? 2014,
13.
2013. Yeah, that was a hell of an era too. It was just everything was the old thing was new all over again. That was a good time as well.
I'd say my favorite era is definitely OSRS era, just because I
What
feel like when I
year?
was a kid, it would have to be either like 2014 or 2015, because I feel
Ooh.
like that's when stuff started to pop off. Like Deadman mode and Hardcore Iron Man came out in 2015. Iron Man mode came out in 2014. I just
Actually,
feel like
Hardcore came out 2016.
or 2016. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, between those 3 years, I think, just because
Mm.
it's like such like a seminal like I feel like everybody has created like their main account or like a account that they've played that they have like huge memories tied to playing, because the game has been out for 12 years now. So yeah, it's just such a crazy long journey, and like I feel like that's where I finally started to learn how to play the game and not be completely shit at it like when I was a kid. Because back in like 2007 Scape, like I was killing hill giants with the dragon longsword, like I was not good, and now I
Dude, you
can
had
like do
Dragon, bro.
Inferno.
You were good. You were good.
Yeah, yeah, like I could do Inferno, like I have Blorva, like I've done most of the like end game stuff. Like I'm working on Grandmaster now. Like I feel like I've learned a lot comparatively to like when I was a kid and I was just stupid and didn't know what was going on, or like knew how to do quests or anything. But yeah, I just think it's like a sign of aging, and I feel like that was just like a nostalgic era for me. So it's like something that I enjoyed was the 2014 to 2016 era of old school.
Man,
Hell yeah.
I feel like you introduced a third option, because in my head I was thinking it was either where I was in life for this question or the game itself. But the third option is like how I was playing the game, and that makes
Hmm.
me my favorite era being like 2018 or something, when I first did Dragon Slayer 2, and I was like, I like Vorkath. I want that pet. And I grinded Vorkath and fell in love with PVM. And I always had labeled myself as like a skiller. And I finally found this love for PVM. So now you got me questioning, oh man.
Hell
Mm.
yeah.
Okay, can I revise my answer?
Yes.
Okay, you
Yeah.
guys have made some you guys have been spitting facts, and yeah, if we're okay, yeah, I think I've been judging my favorite era based on the wrong metrics, like you, Trey. So I think if I'm judging this based on just the sheer amount of hours I've put into this game, clearly because I've been enjoying it and I've been loving it, it would have to be old school. Like I love the game. Like,
Be
and I've been
logging
playing
in.
it a lot. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
logging in. Yeah, so I think maybe old school is my favorite. Yeah.
I'm going to go with, it's so hard because I like right now. It's really great. So definitely old school is what I'm going to lean on, but I will give a shout out to 2004, 2005. When I first started playing this game, it was like, oh man, it was like I was approaching the shore of an endless ocean of content. I just remember thinking RuneScape was like the most massive thing. And as a kid, you guys know like that feeling of any game. You would think there's probably some crazy mystery where some player is going to be the first to crack it, and RuneScape felt like there was endless mystery. Like I remember even like a fucking drawer in a house, I'd be like, I bet you anything when it says there's nothing interesting in here, or like there's nothing in here, I bet you could make it have something in there, you know what I mean? Or like I would think outside the box of like, if I kill enough goblins, it'll eventually drop like an abyssal whip or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
something stupid like that.
Totally.
Yeah, because you don't know, right? You don't know
Nobody
anything.
knows. And you're getting
Yeah.
information and rumors off the street. Like I remember thinking spinach rolls and muddy keys from the like first episode we did were like super fucking rare and like nobody knew how to get them. Like trimming armor was like, how the fuck do you trim armor? Like who knows how to do that? Like as soon as I figure out how to trim armor, I'm gonna be filthy rich. You know what I mean? Like,
That's why things like that
crazy.
thrived back then, like the armor trimming and stuff.
Yeah, so I think as a child, having like a really just stupid brain makes this game feel like super amazing for sure. And I just loved seeing just, I don't know, like players that were just so much better than me, like sitting in Castle Wars lobby with level like 110s, like holy fuck.
Wearing dragon plate legs, like holy shit.
Yeah, that was insane. But I will say, if I were to pick a year in particular of my favorite in old school, I'd honestly maybe say 2017. It was like a month and a half after hardcore release, because hardcore released like middle of November of 2016, and I was having the time of my fucking life when hardcore first dropped, and I was like in the top 50 of hardcore Iron Man. I was the first hardcore with a Dragon Warhammer. I just like rushed that shit. And I just remember thinking like all these world firsts, because it was like a world first list. And I was like, oh, I want to get these. Unfortunately, I got banned for auto-clicking Alex for 6 hours straight. So that was just like, yeah, really sad. But I will say just during that time though, on that hardcore, that was peak. And I just was addicted to Twitch, watching like Say Aloe and Foe and Lowlander, like just grinding hardcore hard as fuck. And I was a part of it. It just felt like, oh, this is really peak. But I will say I've enjoyed the years following it. I just think that was the initial, like, I am so addicted to this game. Now I understand true addiction.
Yeah, I felt the same way with Tob. And dude, I don't think there's ever been a celebrity that I've wanted to meet more in my life than I did when I was a kid, wanting to meet Zizima.
Yep.
Like
goat.
he was like an omnipotent. Like he was like a like I don't even know. Like he was like a god back then. Like I don't know.
And the craziest part about him is he didn't have to flaunt any of it. It just his name, because of the high scores, just like his name just rose to prominence. Like everybody knew of him, and he never had to say a fucking word. Like that is Giga Chad energy. Like he never had to sell himself. Like he was just like, I'm just gonna do my thing, and you're all gonna fucking worship me. And we did. I worshipped him hard. Yeah. Yeah, those are the.
Do you guys remember when he got married? And then he
I got married in RuneScape.
Wedding at his POH. Dude,
Yeah,
I was like, I think he was like 15 years older than me or some shit. And I remember like being like as a kid, like being like so jealous. I was like, I wish that was me getting married to him. I was like 9.
That is adorable. Oh my god. Okay, what have been our most lucky and unlucky grinds on Old School? I think I'm gonna start with this, and I will say I'll kind of help illustrate it a little bit more, because it's not purely just based off rates. It's kind of more about the hours and just the excitement about things. But I will say the most lucky ever was my 20 KC Tebow on Sae Bae. That I was not really a PVMer. Like I was PVMing, but I wasn't a raider. I was just like, ugh, like raids sound so exhausting. Like, I don't know. I remember going onto the Discord bot and typing like plus kill 300 cocks, you know, and just like, all right, let's see if I can roll a fucking Tebow, like for fun, you know, just wouldn't roll it for like 10 times in a row. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this is going to be pure agony going for this stuff. And anyway, my friends eventually just forced me to go trio with them at Chambers. I was like, dude, this is such a headache. I remember trying to watch like YouTube videos of like the raiding rooms. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what's happening. I genuinely had no clue what was happening. And I was just like, this is so stupid. But I kept going. I was like, I'll show up because like, who knows? Maybe we'll pull something. Anyway, my 20th raid in, I'm in a trio. Both my teammates died. I somehow lived. And I just pulled a twisted bow, and it was like it completely changed the course of like my future. Like it really did. Like I don't even think I would have become a streamer had it not been for that Tebow drop, because that was like the turning point of me really like going for an Infernal Cape right afterward. I was like, wow, I can actually go for an Infernal Cape, something I never thought possible. And then I just started like gaming super fucking hard. And then I was like, I'm just going to start streaming. And then I started streaming, and now like here we are, you know? So I think that was just one of the luckiest drops, and it was destiny. It must have been destiny, right? Right, guys? You agree with that? I agree.
I agree.
But
Of course.
my worst, and it's not even that it was that unlucky, but it was definitely my Inquisitor's Mace grind. That one was very painful because it was like 9 months straight of normal solo Nightmare, and I spent like over 1,100 hours just one tick flicking, and I spent over 1 billion GP on blood runes to get it.
God.
Because I'd buy all my fucking blood runes at the Zami Mage when they were like 600 GP on average. Just ridiculous. And you had to like, you could only buy like 250 per world and then hop. And that was if the worlds were full. So, it's such a miserable, agonizing grind that was genuinely like making me miserable in real life, because I just knew I was going to have to wake up and stream killing Nightmare. It was just so bad. But I ended up getting it after like 3,000-ish solos. And then day one Fasani's, I got it at Fasani's Nightmare, like 83 KC. So
Wow.
pretty crazy. But I will say those two are like the most memorable on top of like lucky and unlucky, I'd say.
My luckiest drop. I guess one other thing before my personal ones, just speaking of kind of crazy RNG, we had in our clan this week, we had someone pull a Onyx from a gym bag.
No,
nice.
No.
Yeah.
That's a 1 in 100 million.
Yeah.
That's 1 in, okay, so technically it's 1 in 2.5 million per bag, because you get 40 gems per bag. It's a 1 in 100 fucking million to get an uncut Onyx from one of those things. And it had only happened
crazy.
like once before in history. So that he must be like the second guy, maybe like third, like if somebody else went unacknowledged.
Wow.
Did that
Yeah,
actually
that was-
happen? How do you
just yours.
how do you
Here,
know?
I'll throw-
like,
I'll
was
throw
he
you
able
the
to confirm
screenshot.
it? Okay. Let's see
Here's a
this shit.
screenshot he posted. It was a clog too, so it's
Holy
Wow.
fucking shit.
yeah. Shout out
That's
Brad Street in
crazy.
our clan.
Street
Yeah.
Brad.
Street bread.
Yeah, that's his iron. So yeah, that kind of takes the wind out of my sails for what I'm saying, because I've never had any luck like that. But
That's crazy.
yeah.
Holy shit.
So
Okay.
the luckiest I've ever had on my iron has been I got a 1 KC Araxite thing.
Oh,
and
that you probably thought it was like some basic ass drop, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I thought it was
just like a
what
venom
you-
sack or something.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought it was the venom sack, and like the 1 KC drop, and I was kind of confused. And it was the first time I'd ever killed him on any account, and it's like, huh, that's kind of weird. And then when I figured it out, it's like, oh, okay, I couldn't even make it and everything. I was just doing it because I had just hit 92 Slayer and just wanted to try it out. And yeah, that was a weird feeling. I've always wanted that just 1 KC big drop. That's the only time that's ever happened. It was really cool. My unluckiest was my Perilous Moon saga on my iron.
Oh,
I went to 200 chests with 1 item. So that's
what?
it's,
And you were
it's
killing all
1 in
three?
19. Yeah, yes. So
Jesus.
so that's like 10x dry before I finally got my second
What
item.
the fuck?
It was the only time I've ever posted on Reddit about how dry I was, and all the comments, because it's Reddit, they weren't like kind of like you, where you're like, oh, were you killing all 3? They said, well, obviously he wasn't killing all 3 of them. He must not know how the drop rates work. And it was just like, no, dude, I'm just dry. That's why I posted it.
Is there any way
a
to
lot-
prove it on the like collection logs? Does it show how many of you like, or is it just chests? I think it just says like loader chest,
yeah,
right?
it just shows your chest. Yeah,
That's
and
annoying.
it's all fucked now because once I finished one of them, I stopped doing that one, and
Yeah.
it's kind of. But
I
yeah, that
believe
was
you.
my-
That shit happens. That shit does
Yeah.
happen.
yeah, that was a brutal grind. But I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, I mean, you're talking about Nightmare. Like, Moons it's a smooth experience. You know, it gets old. Obviously, it's a grind, but it's potentially one of the best places to go that dry. I mean, you're not losing any resources. It's one of those new era bosses where it's just shitting out iron supplies the whole time.
Yeah,
I have a lifetime
true.
supply of, water orbs.
So for my most lucky, the one that it's not really that lucky, I guess, but it's kind of like a quintessential like, oh my god, no way! But I literally got a one medium clue ranger boot on like my first
Oh,
Iron Man
hell
ever
yeah.
made. So that was like a classic moment.
The dream.
Yeah, just honestly like one of the greatest feelings, like especially on like a brand new iron. As far as like pet luck and stuff, I think I've had 9 Zulrah pets across like 8,000 KC on both my accounts or something. So I've been very spooned with like Zulrah drops and mutagens. Except I got 2 mutagens in 5,000 kills, but they're both magmas on this account, and then I have a Tans on my other one in like 3,000. So I'm getting spooned for those, but not the other one that you need. And for unlucky grinds, I think I've done like around 2,000-ish, maybe a little bit more raids, and I've never seen like a T-bow. I don't think it's like that unlucky. But like when you think about the time factored in, you'd think you'd see at least one T-bow, but I think I had 6 or 7 mega rares, and none of them were ever T-bow, so I just got unlucky with that.
That's a rip.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty much what made me de-iron and became a main, was because it was like, not again. Like I had a main and it was an iron, and I was just like, this is just not fun. And my other iron lost all its wealth, and like I just basically played an Iron Man and was like, I became unranked, which is, people are gonna flame me for that, but I did that because my friend had T-bow and I was just using it, and I was like, why am I doing this? I just become a main again.
Yeah,
And I've had way more fun ever since. So
that's cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much the unluckiest I've ever been, just not getting a T-bow.
So for me, I've had a few lucky grinds. So my sort of into rating and stuff was through FFA chambers. Like I just used to spam FFA chambers and like World 365 like all day. Like all my free time went to that. Anyway, and then so I got my first solo T-bow, like from or FFA T-bow, so not really solo. But I got my first FFA T-bow at like 700 KC. And then I got another one like literally like less than 100 KC after. And so as a result, I've been able to have like I've had max gear on this game since like literally like 2017 because of that. And Sater, you were saying earlier how it kind of changed the trajectory of your life.
Yes.
Like low key, it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
I as a result of making that T-bow money, like I was able to get into like Tob pretty early and stuff, and that was like the basis of my stream, especially early on. So yeah, so I don't know like where I would have been if I hadn't made that money when I did. So that was pretty nice. And then I got this little 3 KC Inferno pet right behind
Inferno
me.
cat. So cute.
And do you know how I got this guy? You guys, it was not supposed to happen. I double deathed at Volcanic Mine and I lost like 2 bill, including my fucking Infernal Cape. And so I had to go, and it was my one
fuck.
cape because I only had like 1 KC at the time, or I had like 2 KC. And so I had to go back to the Inferno just to get that cape. And on that cape, I got the Inferno pet. So it's so if you think about it, I paid
Crazy.
$2 billion, 2 billion GP for this Inferno pet.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last but not least, okay, hold on, I'm gonna post this. This is my first ever third age clue.
Ooh.
In this clue, I got third age plate skirt and then 2 ornament
Whoa.
sets. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And someone calced it, and it is something like the odds of this happening was like 1 in like 300 mil or something like that.
Yeah, getting a Godsword ornament because I know those are like the more rare ones. That's crazy. You ever seen that guy that got 2 third age pieces in one clue, and neither one was a mimic. It was just like a hard clue.
What? That's crazy.
And
Wait,
I
which
think-
ones? What did he get?
I think it was like the range top and like the coif or something. I don't know. I can't even remember now.
Wow.
But
Yeah, that's sick.
there was a guy actually just today that posted his elite clue or his elite casket on Reddit, and it was just 2 gilded plate bodies. Like just 2 of them. Like there's a tomb by it. Like that's
What?
weird. That's
Very
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
Glitch in the Matrix type shit.
I will. I'll throw
mhm.
one more in there, which is just. I mean, I definitely did my due diligence with clues, but getting the 3rd age kite shield and then the plate body and then the plate legs was fucking unreal for an iron. Like that was like dream kit. When I first got that, I was able to rock the Dragon Full Helm with it with the prims, and you look like a fucking credit card warrior at the Grand Exchange. You know what I'm talking about? Like, but then, you talk and you're an Iron Man, and it was just like this is peak. Like this is something I would have fucking like nutted over just imagining having an account like this. You know what I mean? And then it happens, and it's just like, I mean, it was definitely nutworthy even when it happened, but like you
What
just
a
give
flex.
it a few days, and it's like, okay, well now I'm just moving on. No, the goalpost keeps moving. It's like, fuck. Crazy.
I think I went pretty unlucky for my first scythe, like in my name. And like if I was an iron, I'd probably be banging my head against the wall. I got my scythe like to complete my collection log at like 2300 KC.
Oh God. Yeah, that's rough.
Like how would you feel if that was you and you had an iron?
Yeah,
like
mine
I
was-
don't know, like what's your perspective?
Mine was almost 1,000. I didn't even have my first TOB weapon until 915. My log at 914 was just Assure and hilt. It was so fucking depressing.
Ew.
So depressing. And then it all kind of changed around, but I still never got my Sanguinesti. Sanguinesti is still something I never had.
You don't like what, like the staff?
Yeah, I just never got one on Sae Bae. But I got a shadow early, so that was nice.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
What one update would you force into the game if you could? So there's many things that come to mind, as probably anybody that listens to my cast probably knows. You
So
probably start
many
making a
things.
list. Yeah. But I will say, I think the thing I would like the most is a picture perfect, what is in my mind recreated in like actually like fully developed and designed and artistically just created a agility course that is rhythmic based, that is also clickbox based thing. So it's not like Sepulcher. It's kind of like, it's almost a hybrid of Sepulcher and like rooftops, but you're clicking on click boxes, but it's rhythmic. So you have to kind of like Yama when you're jumping across the stepping stones, but a full-on course that has differing like rhythms. So like one would be, you know, you're scaling a wall that you have to click once on like a handhold, and then you got to wait 2 ticks to click on the next one. Then it's 1 tick later. Just something that's very simplistic and rhythmic. It's impossible to like fully describe it. I can see it in my mind's eye, but I can't. I'm just not artistic enough to like show people. But something that would allow agility to genuinely be fun all the way from like the get-go. Because what I hate right now is how painfully boring rooftops are and how much people have just accepted this is the way it is, and it's just like the worst fucking gameplay of all time. Genuinely, this is just abysmal. It's just pure dog shit. I still feel bad because Matt K was actually one of the people that helped develop rooftops, and during our cast, me, him, and Tasty were doing a trio cast, and like to his face, I was like, "Yeah, rooftops are dog shit." And he's like, "Yeah, I was one of the people that like helped make those." I'm like, "Oh fuck, that was bad." But yeah, no, it's just the honest to God truth. Like they're so bad, they're the worst content. People just accept it because it's basically the only thing you can do other than Sepulcher, and many people just don't want to have to deal with the learning curve of Sepulcher. So if we could have genuinely fun, rhythmic agility training from an early point, I think that could be a true game changer when it comes to like making the early game experience much more bearable. So I would say that would be the update I'd want to force into the game.
I kind of foreshadowed this earlier, but I would force everyone to do dungeoneering again.
As a
Just-
skill
I-
or as an activity?
Ooh.
Maybe as an okay, yeah. See, I think it would be better off as an activity, not a skill.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I love dungeoneering. It was so much fun.
So
What I
only
would
did-
go back. I mean, what I
I-
would give to go back. Sorry, go on.
I only did a little bit of it. So I mean, I know that it's essentially kind of like CG. I mean, Is that an insult to dungeoneering? Like, how would you? What's the like one sentence description of it?
It is like I think like a more complex version of CG. CG is very like simplified in the sense that there's only a few demi bosses, one boss, you know? Um, but Dungeoneering had so many different bosses, so many different like mini like mobs and stuff, like just and so many different types of rooms. It was just so intricate. And yeah, yeah, I just miss it so much.
No, I think that sounds awesome. I'm in the camp of people I believe you could probably implement 99% of the stuff in RS3 if you just, do it right, old schoolify it, however you want to think about it. But there's a lot of awesome stuff over there.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
It's
Squeal Fortune.
RS3 is
just
definitely
OSR
Yeah,
size
exactly.
it.
Hey, that's the 1%. Yeah, get over there.
it's slept on. It's slept on. I feel like especially
Wait, Squeal Fortune
like
or Dungeoneering? What are we talking
sorry, RS3.
Oh,
No,
oh,
yeah, Squeal Fortune
yeah,
is slept on. Yeah.
Squeal
Yeah,
Fortune
yeah.
slept on. You guys don't know how good it is. That shit's addicting as fuck.
Bring
Spent
MTX to
so
Old
much
School.
money on that shit. It's good.
No, don't you guys remember that video that who was it? Was it a friend? I think he spent like $10,000
Yeah, he just like
buying
maxed his RS3 account or something.
Max's account with $10,000. That shit was crazy.
Dude, by the way, I'm sorry, but who is this like random handyman from Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 just brushing, like sweeping up throw up around us? You see this dude?
Bro, that's the
Dude,
goat, man.
just
He's
doing
just like,
his
street
job.
sweeper.
why are you sweeping underneath us? You think we're that dirty? Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
You gotta
He hates us.
treat the sweeper with the same respect as the banker, you know?
Yeah, his examine text is he does what too many people aren't interested in doing.
He's just like supporting his
Legend.
family and shit.
Legend.
I think something that'd be really cool would be like an updated party system for like if you were trying to like find people to raid with to like find like somewhat competent people who have like KC. And I know it can kind of be like cheesed, especially if you're like alting and stuff. I don't know the best workaround to do that, but like kind of just like a way for like people who are more solo oriented to find people to game with for lots of different activities. I think they do like a good job with the worlds and with like CCs that are active and stuff, and like clan chats are getting like updated and stuff, and like party systems in the game are constantly getting updated. So like I think they're making efforts towards it, but I think something that'd be really cool would be like I don't know, just something effectively like a party system to just kind of help people come together versus like needing to like go into a Discord and like do all this extra things where it could be like circumnavigated in the game
Yeah.
and like manage through that because like party system works in like games like WoW and like other MMOs. So I'm sure it could be worked and implemented in like a year or two or something, probably. But like I don't think it's like a high focus because they're trying to focus on sailing and
And
Yeah.
please extend that to BA as well.
yes. Like all activities, not just raids, like mini games,
Mm.
especially because it's hard to find people to do trouble brewing if you actually wanted to play that. Not saying like I would want to do that, but like, if you want to do some max F stuff to go get like the gear, if you're a collection log person, you're going to want to find people to do that with or whatever, just bring an alt or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
No, that's a
I'm
good
sure,
one.
like,
That's respect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, what? You're telling me that you don't enjoy looking for non-toxic, competent people in We Do raids? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I went in there one time asking to do raids like all day when I was a noob, and nobody responded to me. So I was like,
Oh.
I learned my lesson, bro. I'm not waiting around for people. I'm gonna go find some friends and do it myself. But if we had a party system, we wouldn't have to do that, so it'd be a lot easier.
Dude, do you guys remember Cloud Badass? There was Zach
Yes.
Badass and then Cloud Badass. He
Mhm.
had a Discord. That's where I first started finding people to raid with. Cloud Badass's Discord.
Mm.
Like how times have changed.
I think it
Wow.
would be cool too for like a party system if it was kind of like tailored to each of the raids. Like maybe with chambers, if you're looking for a team, you could set preferences on which bosses like you did and didn't want to do for a layout, and maybe for TOA you could they could have like presets for different like 150, 200, 300 raids. Because I've never done the like mass world TOA, but I've heard like these nightmare stories of people putting the craziest invocations on. And it'd be cool if there was just like, hey, we're running the Jagex preset 300. You can sign up. That would be helpful for people who don't know what's going on, don't know certain invocations that people can slip in there to try to, PK and get the MVP kind of a thing.
True.
Sae Bae, you said the same thing. There's like so many things I want to do. I tried to get the most bang for my buck with this question, and something that would be controversial that nobody can stop me on. So mine is Summer Sweep Up OG Boss rework. So this is a rework for all of the like pre 2007 bosses that are still in the game that need a lot of quality of life improvement. So this is King Black Dragon, Calfight Queen, Barrows, God Wars. So just adding some quality of life to all of them. Maybe Calfight Queen doesn't just hit you 30s every single attack for no reason. And one of the big things I would want across the board at least for God Wars, Corp, and mostly just those two, I guess, would be group drop mechanics similar to the Wildy bosses. So Irons can, do group content in some of those places, and so, not just raids, which would be amazing for like our clan events and stuff. We could actually have clan events centered around God Wars again, because nobody wants to do that kind of stuff anymore because everybody's an Iron. And yeah, just kind of a general quality of life to all of the like OG bosses that Jagex doesn't want to touch because there's so much nostalgia based around them. And that's why that would be the one that I would force into the game, because I know that a lot of the old timers would push against that just because there's so much nostalgia there.
Yeah, it's always I like the sentiment. I just instantly start thinking of how it might drastically affect metas. Like, for example, if as much as I love that sentiment and as much as it makes sense for like already maxed mains or maxed irons, I think of baby irons being able to go into a Bandos mass and even being kind of carried. So you're basically making it so like maybe the baby that's going in there is not getting attacked at all, because you have like, I think the mechanics work so like they keep kind of cycling about sort of, and so you will get hit and stuff. But I just worry about the real meta changes where you just jump in with a mass and you all of a sudden you have full Armadillo and whatever else like instantaneously, because you don't even need to worry about getting KC because you're just in this room for fucking 6 hours straight with a bunch of people. And it makes sense when the drop only goes to the person that did the most damage, but I know that wouldn't be how people would want it. They'd want it to be the new school vibe where anybody can get the drop just if you participated, but it just kind of goes off of how much damage you did. So there are those concerns. And then the other concern is just Corp with, again, like if you can just go in there and mass it on an Iron Man, you can get level like 20 accounts going in there with an Addy crossbow and ruby bolts and just like proccing a few times and like getting hella loot like really early on. And that could be potentially like bad for the game's integrity. There's already so much integrity that's been destroyed, but it's just those things I'm thinking about. So they'd either have to have some sort of combat level restriction, which I always think is super arbitrary and stupid anyway. But I don't know. It's a tough one. But I do like where you're coming from ultimately.
Well, this is unpolled and I'm forcing it in the game, so you don't have any choice. I think the huge asterisk with any of this is it has to be done in exactly the right way, and they have to keep updating it to make sure that it can't be abused. But I think I agree with the like that. The sentiment of what I want to do is that, but there's so many different ways. And there is an argument to be made, I think, for especially for those really old school nostalgic bosses I had a more complicated way of pitching this. My like first draft was like to make the Echo bosses a permanent fixture of the game. Because I do really like the idea of having the reworked version of the boss be one thing, and then still keeping the old original version in the game, so you can still choose to do that, but then having this like, whatever obviously the league's echo bosses are super popular. So if that was like how they did it, of like, oh well, you can do the echo God Wars bosses, but there's still the standard God War bosses will always be there, would be one way of making it so it's not like, hey, we're just removing this thing that has been in the game from day one that you've had, you've done your whole life. We're just taking it out. But I don't know. It's just that would be I guess to answer the question, I would put all of Jagex's resources towards that, and hopefully they would come out with something that was perfect, which might be asking a lot.
Yeah, but you forced it, so.
Yeah, that's right. It's
By
coming through no matter
gunpoint.
what. That's right.
Okay, last question. This is from Mope Solo. Shout out if you guys want your own comments or whatever questions in one of these future casts, leave it down below and we might get to it. This is a great one though. So Mope Solo is asking, for the 3 podcast hosts, me, Trey, and Ubaru, who is your favorite guest you have ever had on Vibes Wise? And for Sinferna, what is your favorite podcast you have been a guest on so far, since this is your first one as a host? When I was thinking about it, there's so many names that come to mind, but I have to say, when I got Chego Okonkwo on, the NFL tight end, that was surreal. And I was so nervous at first about like
That's so cool.
getting it in a call with some NFL player that's like genuinely, he's like a starter, this is not just some guy that's like benched, like he's just playing every game, like he's good. And jumping into a call with him, I was like, oh God, like don't fucking jumble this, don't be an idiot. And I just loved it. It was so good. He was so fucking chill. And just the excitement of ending the call and knowing that I'm about to publish this and nobody knows I just had this conversation. Nobody. Like,
Oh, you didn't announce it?
no, I did not announce it. So it just dropped. It just dropped like randomly one afternoon. And and it was like the most fucking dopamine filled thing, reading all the comments that were just flooding in, and like the views were just skyrocketing. Like within like the first like day or something, it had hit like 30 or 40,000 views, which is just crazy for my channel. And then by the end of the week, it had hit like 80,000. I think it's at like 90,000 or something now. The official ESPN Instagram that has 25 million followers had posted that morning about Chego Okonkwo maxing his Old School account. So like this was a name that it was just exploding on Reddit, on X, on Instagram, like it was fucking everywhere. And then literally like that later that afternoon, I got to publish the Sae Bae cast with him. I was like, this is fucking nuts. This is so nuts. It was so cool.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so exciting though.
Okay, so a little bit of a tangent, like a small tangent quickly. Like that kind of reminds me of when Messiah came out as Endor. I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
I literally have your music in my fucking playlist. Like, what? Like,
there were so many people that were just like, oh my God, that is you. When you did put the picture right next to each other, like, wow, how did I not notice that? Like, I literally listened to you.
I remember when that Chig episode dropped, and I was immediately like started listening to it. I was like, what the hell? And there was a moment when he was talking about the game, and I could feel something click where he said something so specific that I felt, and I feel like you could feel in that same moment of, oh, this guy's not a faker. He's not a poser of any sort. Like this dude knows the game.
I love that. I love that so much. He's just authentic RuneScape player.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, if you max, and he's an Iron Man, he maxes Iron Man, which means he's even more dedicated.
Crazy. Yeah.
So just hearing all the lingo he was saying when you were interviewing him was so funny. Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, he's tapped in.
Well, I feel like this question was set up for me because I feel like I'm supposed to say that my favorite episode was one with Sae Bae on it. No, that one was really special. It was so shocking that because I've reached out to like a lot of people to come on the show and I get ghosted by most of them. So then it was just like, what the fuck, and threw one out to Sae Bae, and he actually responded and came on. It was such a fun episode. that one, but I feel like that's off limits, so that can't be my answer. So I'll give a shout out to we had an episode. So we're doing this series called Smash or Pass, where we're just going through all the bosses in chronological order, saying just feeling our thoughts on them. But it's just
Explain the smash because that gets
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people. It's always like, what the fuck are we talking about?
yes, it's Smash
Wait
with
a
the Dragon
minute.
Warhammer. It's just if we like the boss or not.
So you want to kill it like by smashing
Yes,
it with
yes.
a hammer.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you
Yes.
don't want like sexual relations.
You don't
with
want to
the boss.
fuck the boss.
I understand.
Right.
You don't want to fuck Verzik P1. Okay, got it.
It got a little blurry when we did Tob, I won't lie. But
Jesus Christ.
but we were, I mentioned to my co-host Dills that we were getting to the Inferno, and neither of us have done the Inferno. And so I was like, we need to get somebody on here. And we kind of asked our community, and I was like, well, what about like AddieCon? Like that's the person I've watched the videos for, his first Cape Fridays. And so we messaged him, and he was totally down. I was like, cool. And so I was talking to Dills, and he was like, all right, I've got an idea. So when Addie comes on, he's like our Inferno expert. And so what we're going to do is he's going to not talk, and we're going to talk about the Inferno. And then he's just going to sit there, and then he's going to have a buzzer to buzz in when we say something wrong. And I was like, I hate this. I hate this idea so much. We get this like guest on, and he's going to not talk. And so we went back and forth about it, and he finally was like, no, it's going to be great. And I was like, fine, whatever, let's do it. And so we got him in a voice call, and I was pre-embarrassed, and we pitched the idea to him.
Oh, no.
And we were like, so there's this soundboard thing, and he was just like, burn. He's like, burn. He's like, this is perfect. I love it. And he was such a good sport about it, and we had so much fun with it. He basically, we just talked out of our ass about the Inferno, and then he actually'd us with the buzzer, and it was super fun, super funny, and he played into it perfectly. And I was just blown away by just someone rolling with the punches like that and committing to the bit. So shout out to him for that.
For me, honestly, I was gonna say you as well, Sater, because like I think you have our longest, like not to like glaze you or anything, but like honestly, like you have the longest podcast because we literally just talk about real life shit the whole time, and it's like just such a down to earth conversation. So like that one was great. We had T-Pop a Slice on, and he wanted to like complete extremes that like he alludes to on like his stream. Like he would just did like crazy stories, like buying drugs on the Silk Road and just like crazy shit. It's like what are you talking about, bro? Like just like the most insane things that I don't even know if they're real or not. So I was like, yeah, he's just like an insane storyteller. Like T-Papa, Hamzy was great too. That'll come out soon. Once I edit it, but yeah, they're just so many great guests that we've been able to have on. So, but yeah, definitely check out Saters on the Terminally Online podcast.
Hell yeah.
So I appreciate the intention behind this question so much, Mope. You are so sweet. But I regret to inform you that I'm like a little bit of a turbo random. I've only actually been on like 2 podcasts. So I've been on Saters, and then I've been on the Base podcast. And it's so hard to choose which one I had more like fun in. Sater, with you, do you remember how nervous I was at the start?
Yes.
I was tripping.
Yeah.
I was tripping. I was like sweating bullets. Like I was so scared of being perceived. I was like, oh God. But then you did such a great job of just like making the conversation flow so like naturally and just easing me into it sort of thing. And then yeah, like Oob was saying, like we ended up talking about like real life shit for a good chunk of it, and I love that. Like it was like you know what I mean, like that. It was like like down to earth conversation. And yeah, so it was really fun in that sense. And then with the based guys, it was like I'd already met them like IRL, so I kind of had like this like dynamic with them already. And so with them, it was just like hanging out with the homies. So they all like the vibe with them was also great, but like in a different way. So yeah, so I would say like it's tied for me for both, but like in different ways, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, please keep questions like this coming.
Yes.
It's so much fun to talk about these things. It truly is. So thank you guys.
Yeah, keep them
And
coming,
we will say
guys.
your name if you give us good ones.
We will.
So keep dropping them in the comments.
And if your first and last name are on there, we'll just say your first name with the last initial. Don't even worry.
Yeah,
or if you want to go by like a pseudonym, just say that.
Yeah, just like maybe change that. If you do comment, just pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. This was great. And down in the description, we're going to have all our links down there. So if you guys have not checked out, Ubaru, Sinferna's, and Trey's other links, be sure to go down there, give them a follow on their socials. Check out the Terminally Online podcast. That is Ubaru. He hosts that one. Check out the Wilderness podcast. Trey hosts that one. And definitely check out the Sae Bae cast if you guys are into that, even though this is literally an offshoot of the Sae Bae cast. So you already know that. But yeah, that is it for me. So we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Hey.